What is up, everybody? Welcome back. On today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I turn my camper into a complete solar off-grid setup. You are watching part 1 of 2. I will link part 2 in the description, so make sure you guys go back and watch that after you're done with this video. We're going to show you exactly what you need to buy. We're going to show you how to put it all together, and best of all, we're going to test it all out using the app and show you exactly how many watts each appliance uses inside the camper. So Renogy actually sent me this 300 amp battery along with this 3000 watt inverter. You're also going to need all of this stuff, which I will leave everything linked down in the description. And there is a lot of wires here. So I'm going to set all this up on the table. Here's what we have here. We have some big wires. We have a battery kill switch. We have an inline T-fuse. We have a couple of bus bars here. The nice thing about these bus bars is in the future when we go to hook in our solar controller, if you want to hook anything up that's 12 volt, you have bus bars. So you don't have to have a bunch of stuff hooked directly up to your battery. You know, you could use these bus bars. So this right here is the Renogy Pro Pure Sine Wave Inverter, 3000 watt. Now they also have different sizes to choose from. This is a very big inverter, okay? This inverter here will run your microwave, it'll run your coffee pot, all your lights, your TVs. You know, it'll run a lot of stuff, maybe not all at once, but it has a lot of power packed into this. On one side of the inverter, this is where your main battery leads will plug in. You have an on and off switch. You have a remote plug right here. And this is what came with the inverter here. It's another on and off switch. And here's the wire. Okay, so that's what plugs in right there. So you'll mount that somewhere in your camper. You can plug directly in here for your AC output, or you can plug in like a regular wall outlet. Okay, here's your AC output here. So you got 2 plugs. It's pretty simple design. It is Bluetooth, so there is an app that goes along with this. We're going to get into all that later on. Check out the size of these wires. This is what the manufacturer recommends. You don't want to cheap out and get anything else. If you do, you run into a fire risk, okay? Especially if you're running microwaves and coffee pots, stuff like that, that pulls a lot of juice. So I can't stress it enough. You have to make sure you get the correct cables, so that way you're safe out there. This video, we're just going to get the battery and the inverter and all the wires. We're going to show you how everything hooks up. And then the next video, I'm actually going to show you how to hook up the solar to it. And that's a lot easier than this right here. So we broke it up in 2 different videos. I'm going to leave the link in the description for the next video. So if you want to go ahead and watch that after this, that'll work out. So earlier today, I went out to the camper and I took a measurement on the door opening. I then found a piece of wood and I painted it white. Now this is going to go in there, and this is what I'm going to be installing everything on. I will drill it all to this piece of wood and then just slip it in there. Okay, so I have most of everything that I'm going to use right here. There's not a whole lot to this. So like I said, I'm going to leave everything linked down in the description. So if you need any of the stuff, the inverter, the wires, all this, the battery, it's all going to be in the description. Just go click on it and get what you need. We're going to start off with the negative here. I'm going to show you how I'm going to route it. Now some of these wires may be too long where I'm going to have to cut them, and we're going to have to put our own ends on, which I have a kit here to do all that. I'm going to show you how to do all that later on. For now, let's just lay out the map, okay? So we're going to take a negative bus bar, and that's going to go right there. Now you're going to have one of these wires going from there to here. So we're going to have to cut that, put an end on it. And then from the other side of the negative bus bar to the battery, you'll have one of these longer cables. So that will connect directly to the battery. And the negative side is pretty much done. That's all I'm going to do. Now you can add what is called a shunt onto the negative side, and that is actually like a battery monitor. So that way you can monitor your battery, the voltage. The shunt is not necessary. Like, we don't have one. I'm going to get one. I should order one. Renogy actually makes a really good shunt. So I'll leave that down the link too if you guys are interested in that. The negative side's done. Okay, there's not a whole lot to it. The positive side, on the other hand, we have a few things. So we're going to have our positive bus bar. You are going to go to a battery kill switch. Okay, that's going to be about right there. Going to a fuse. Okay. And then from the fuse to the battery, we'll have another piece of wire connecting to the battery. So now that we kind of got the basic layout of what we're going to do, let's go ahead and start bolting everything down, measuring out our wires, cutting them, and showing you guys how to put these ends on. We're going to start with the negative side first. So I'm going to take this negative cable here, kind of just get a measurement. So if we can cut this in half and put a new end on it, I think that'll be good. So in order to cut this cable, I'm going to show you guys a hack that you can do right at home. And the only thing you need is a hacksaw. Okay, that's how you do these hacks. That's why it's called a hacksaw. If you don't have a hacksaw, you can also use your hands. This is a little more tricky. You have to get it really good because these cables are really thick. All right, that'll work. So once you get the cable cut in half, take your razor blade, just dig in there and go around it like that. And you should be able to peel this off. Just like that. So I take my end and you're going to try to get this on here the best you can. It's really tight to get it on there. Once you get it, don't worry about those wires going down or anything. Just push it on there. And we're going to trim off the wires that didn't make it. So we're just trimming all these pieces off. So let's head over to the crimping station. So this right here is the crimper. You slide the wire in, it goes down, you hammer it. Anyways, it's really simple to use. These things are really cheap. I'll also leave this down in the description if you don't have one. So all you do is slide your cable in there like that and just hit it. Now I'm going to flip it and do the other side. There you have it. So to get the heat shrink on there, you just simply slide it over there. We have a heat gun somewhere, I just can't find it, so we're going to use a torch. Just be careful because it could get hot. That's pretty much what it's going to look like when it's done. It just seals it up real good. So now we can actually start mounting some stuff down as we go. So I'm actually going to screw my inverter down since we know this is where it's going to go. So now we're going to hook up our negative line to the inverter. Just get an idea where it goes again. I'm going to put a screw on this side to hold it. And now I can remove this and put a screw on this side. And then the next wire we already know is going to be a longer one here that's going to go to the battery. So that one's just going to go right there. And now this just clicks on there. And there you have it. Our negative side is done. Now we'll do the positive. We're going to cut this wire in half. Okay, the next thing I am going to do is hook up this one over to this. Now, I made a mistake when I ordered this, and I know that now. It's the right size shutoff switch. It's just it's so heavy duty. It's got 3/8 inch outputs instead of the 5/16. So it won't fit. So I'm just going to drill this out with a drill bit and just make it a little bit bigger. Let's try that out. We're good now. So we start to hook this fuse up. The cables that I bought here, okay, these were enough to do everything I need, except I only have one black one, a half a black one left. I'm missing a half a red one. So either I can go ahead and open up a brand new pack, because these come in a pack like this, and these two cables here are like 40 bucks. So either I can open these up, cut the one I need, and then just keep these for the future, or I can go ahead and send this one back so you guys wouldn't have to buy an extra one, and use the black one here So I cut that black cable down a little bit. By the time I put 2 shrink wraps on it, it's going to be a red cable. I'm going to put 2 red shrink wraps. So I'm going to go ahead and just put an end on there, just like I normally do, and turn it red. Hey, one thing I noticed is this doesn't fit on here because these are so wide. So I guess we can try to make it fit the best we can. One thing that I will mention, anything that you hook up to these bus bars must have its own inline fuse. So just keep that in mind. Every application will need its very own fuse. Before I go and take this and hook it up in the camper, we're going to bench test it out here just to make sure everything works. And then we'll carry this whole thing out to the camper and slide it in. Right there. So the on and off switch right there is off in the middle. If I turn it to the on position here, this turns on, the remote turns on, and the remote doesn't do anything. Okay, it doesn't control it. Now if I turn it to the remote, you know, remote on, this is off, that's off. Now it all controls with the remote. So if the remote's on, this is on, remote's off, that's off. See if this works. Turn it on. Turn it back off. So it is definitely working, guys. Inverter, bus bar, cutoff switch, got your fuse, your wires. You could have a shunt hooked up to it. Like I said, that would work, make things a lot better. But anyways, what do you guys think? So I put my battery in here like this. I definitely have to get some kind of battery box or something bolted down to here along with it. That way, look, it's all like one tray, you know. Now, of course, the battery adds a lot of weight to it. But once it's in there, I mean, you can slide it pretty easily. You know what I mean? So we definitely have to figure out how to bolt this battery down. The only thing I have to do is go in there and route my remote switch. And then once everything's hooked up, you would just open this panel up and you could just plug right into it. So that's the plan. Okay, so here's what it looks like from inside the camper. So you have to lift up the bed there and you can see our solar setup is way over there. Now it's very important to keep anything metal away from that. You don't want anything, you know, conducting it. So we definitely have to make sure we keep a nice clean area under there. So here's the nightstand. I think I'm gonna put this wire right about here. Nice little hole there. Now we can plug this in like that, and that's about where it's gonna go right there. Let me get a piece of Velcro. Okay, so I got that Velcroed on there and we're good to go. So now we're gonna hook this thing up and we're actually gonna try it out. Okay, you guys, we are completely hooked up. Like I said, I love this setup here. Now, my camper, the front of my camper, I have a battery there, a lead acid battery. My plan is to actually run those wire cables in through the front here and plug them into the bus bars. Okay, that's the plan. That way everything is running off of this one battery here. So on your fuse panel, you have what is called a utility converter. That right there, you want to shut that off. So make sure that that is turned off because we don't need that on. Okay guys, now's the time that you've been waiting on. We're gonna go outside, we're gonna plug the camper into that inverter. Okay, we have our 30 amp adapter plug. We're going to plug it straight into the inverter, and we're going to see if it's going to run the camper. We are turned on. That's turned on. We should have power. Let's check it out. Refrigerator is lit up. So the refrigerator just turned on. The microwave's not plugged in. We usually unplug it before we leave. I'll plug it in. So the microwave's turned on. So on one side of the screen, you're going to see the app. So right now, just the refrigerator is running. Okay, I just heard the compressor kick on. So now you have the refrigerator with the compressor. Okay. Now we're going to turn on a fan. Now we're going to turn on a television. So it went up a little bit. Now we're going to turn on a DVD player. So it went up a little bit more. It's pretty cool. You can actually see exactly how much each item is using. Okay, now we got all three of those on. So as of right now, we have the refrigerator, fan, DVD player, TV. Now we're going to turn on the microwave. Wow, that's really kicking it up. Okay. So the microwave definitely kicks it up, which I assume. So pretty much the microwave uses half of our capacity. Let's turn on this night light. Does a night light make a difference? A little bit. Okay. Okay, let's check out the coffee pot. So remember, everything else is still on. All right, let's kick it. Come on. There it comes, you guys. We got hot coffee. So that coffee pot definitely takes a lot. It's just like the microwave pretty much. Wow, that's a lot of juice. So right now we are running the coffee pot, the fan, refrigerator, DVD player, TV at the same time. Now I would not recommend running that coffee pot and the microwave at the same time. That is a no-no. I would not do that because you will definitely surge this out. That's definitely too much for it. But if you just use one thing at a time, I mean, this is exactly what we intend to do. Look at that, guys. That's hot, guys. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Maybe you learned something. I know I learned a lot just by messing around with all this stuff. Now remember to do your research if you guys are planning on doing this, depending on what you want to run, what applications you have. What works for me may not work for you. This is pretty much just a basic setup. You know, hey, we have a cold refrigerator, we have a fan, we have TV, DVD player, I can cook something in the microwave, I can run my coffee pot. You know, we're good to go. Like, I could live like this, you know, temporarily, of course, if I had to. I left the link for everything that I use down in the description. The battery, the inverter, the wires, everything that we're using is down in the description to make it easier for you. Big thanks to Renogy for sponsoring this video. You guys, don't forget, give me a big thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. We'll see you on the next one. Bye.